Welcome to the Sites and Design section of your new system. This is where you're going to manage all of your connected domain names on the top menu, or manage your existing design projects, or create a new one. You can create websites, funnels, landing pages, membership sites, and much, much more. Let's go ahead and create a new project now. Just give it a name, push enter, and you immediately launch our website builder. Here, I can click on Add a New Page, and I can pick one of the built-in templates, or I can start from a new page. Every new page automatically gives me a section with text inside of it. I'm going to delete the text because I don't want it. Sections also come with padding above and below. You can click the X to remove, or simply drag to increase or decrease the padding. Click on the plus button to start adding different elements to your page. You can add icons, counters, progress bars, tabs and accordions, and much, much more. You have many different elements to pick from on this menu. Let's add some rating elements. We can do countdowns. And the best part is, every element, when you click on it, has a built-in menu. So I can do things like change the style of the countdown. I can have it count down from a specific date or to a number of days. I can even hide the number of days. You have many different options on here. Let's go ahead and drag another button. Let's drag a switcher. And let's see how this looks on mobile. So automatically, all of the pages look beautiful on all devices. And in fact, we even have this tabs and accordion element that will automatically resize on mobile. And now I can drag a bunch of tabs on here, like 4 or 5. Typically, tabs would look bad on mobile devices because this is hard to render. Now we do something really cool on mobile phones. We actually mobile optimize all the different elements by default, even tabs turning into accordions to make it easy for your website viewers to view your content. All these changes we have in here greatly impact conversion rates and usability of your website. Let's go ahead and clear this page and start with a new blank canvas. On here, I'm going to click the plus button and I'm going to add a new section. Now when you click on a section, you have a little section menu up here on the top left. Now I can do things like set a background color or image overlay color, and even add a background. Let's add a background now. Here I can upload images. I can use existing images if I've already uploaded them on my system, or I can use the built-in royalty-free image search. Just type in a keyword and you get plenty of beautiful images you can use for your website. I like this one. Just double click and it adds it to your page. Now the best part is, for larger images, you can set the focal point right here. Sometimes images, when you put text on top of them, it can be a little bit harder to read. So you can do things like change the brightness or colors right here. So I'm going to make this one a little bit darker. I'm happy with that. Next, I want to increase the padding above and below so this image is a little bit more prominent. But you know what? That image still isn't centered very well, so I'm going to come back in and set the focal point a little bit lower. Now I'm happy with this. Now, one of the most important things to know is you're going to be using grids a lot on your website. Now, grids are a way you can break up different sections of your website. Just drag a grid to your page, and here I can say I want to do a 2x1 grid. Now I got a box on the left and a box on the right. This is perfect if I'm adding in some sort of call to action. I can click on the text. Let's change the font color so it's a little easier to read. And let's make it a little bit bigger. You can even change the fonts. Next, let's put a button. I can come in here and change the button, make it have rounded corners, no fill, etc. Even changing the colors of the button. You can also add animations. But let's go ahead and click on the settings gear and change the gap above the button so it's not touching my text. Now on the right hand side, we can do a few different things. This would be a great spot for a form if I was trying to capture leads. Now, I may want to change the background of this box to white. So I'll just click on the color palette, click on background, and change that to white. Now, I could also change this to have rounded corners. This is going to be under the advanced settings up here on the right under Style Manager. So I'll make sure I have the box selected, click on this menu, and then under decorations, I want to use this option called border radius. And if I adjust this, you can see what that does. So I'm going to give this slightly rounded corners, and I'm happy with that. I could drop in a form here. But let's start by adding a new section to our website. And for this one, I want to put a list of features that we offer. So on here, I'm going to open up the elements, I'm going to drag a new grid, and I'm going to click on a 4x1 grid. I have 4 columns now. In here, let's add an icon, and let's add some text. Now, I can duplicate this text. Maybe this one has some longer text in it, so I'll put in some example text. And this one, I want it to be bolder and a little bit bigger. I also want to change the font size or the font style. I like Lotto. Perfect. Now let's change this icon, make it a little bit bigger, and let's change this to something else. And let's adjust the color. Perfect. Now I don't want to duplicate this multiple times, so what I can also do is I can click on the column and I can click copy. I'm going to copy this 4 times. Then I'm going to delete my other columns. This just saved me a bunch of work. Now I can simply change the icons of the other items and update the text. Let's start building a new section. I'm going to click on plus, new section, and on this one I also want to do a grid. So I'm going to drag the grid elements, and I'm going to do a 2x1 grid. And on the right side, let's do an image. I'm going to double click this image to change it. Let's do the royalty-free image search and search for a happy couple. Perfect. I like this image. Now here on the left-hand side, I want to add in some text. Let's go ahead and make that left align, and let's duplicate this. This would be a great spot where you'd have a lot more text, so I'll just put in an example right here. Now on this one, I want this to be like a header or title, so I could simply change the typography to an H1, and that'll give me some bigger text. I could also just come in here and leave it as is, normal, and just adjust the font size. So let's make that a 48 or a 40. Alright, perfect. So now I want to come in here and I want to adjust the gap above. And now I got this going on. Now I got this looking really good. Same thing with this. I may want to add some gap between the columns. I can do that right here. Let's go ahead and change the background of my section. I want to come in here and set a different color. Let's put in a bluish color, slight blue. I'm going to make it slightly transparent too, just to add some separation between the different sections of my website. I'm happy with this. Let's also add in a button. Perfect. I can come in here and change the icon on the button to something different. Just click to edit the text, and you're ready to go. Now you just keep repeating this process to build out the many different sections of your website, even adding a footer. So for a footer, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do a 4x1 grid. So here, I can put some text over here, and I'll go ahead and duplicate this. Now this one, I'm going to make left aligned, and I'm going to start adding different links here. Now I could put an image or a logo on the left hand side, and below that I want to put in some text. Maybe this is the company name and the address. Let's go ahead and set another background color for my footer. I'm happy with that. I also want to get rid of the padding, so I'm going to click the X. And let's make this logo a little bit smaller. Perfect. Now come in here and start designing beautiful websites, landing pages, and more, and come explore all the different features we have on our toolbars. Every element always has unique options on the beginning of the menu. So when I click on an image, I get the image options. And when I click on a button, I get the button options. Typically, all the options after the first one are shared. So you'll see these pop up on almost every element. Like when I click on button, I get the text menu, settings menu, color, link, and more. On the text, I get the same thing. After the unique text element, I'll get the settings, color, link, and more. Same thing with the icon. I get the unique icon menu, and then I get color, link, and more. Now these other ones on here are for animations. You can add animations, bounce in, float in, turn in, jack in, all sorts of different animations for your website. Now, one of the cool features we have in here too is under this gamepad icon. When you click on this, this allows you to move 3D items on your page. You just click this button and start moving your mouse, and you can immediately transform this in a 3D space. So it's great to rotate product images, things that you would normally need to do in Photoshop, you can do instantly on the screen. And the best part is, this website is responsive and mobile friendly by design. I didn't have to do anything to get this looking beautiful on mobile. But if I ever need to make a tweak, I can click on something and change it specifically for this screen size. So I may want to make this font size smaller on mobile so it fits on one line. That looks good. Now once my page is done, I can go ahead and click Save. When I'm ready to publish my website, I'll want to go ahead and click Publish. This will allow you to connect it to your own domain name. Anytime you want to add a new page, just go to the Pages menu and click the plus button. Here I get the same options, starting from a new page or one of the built-in templates. Here's my next new page. Typically, if I was building a website, I might get one page looking exactly how I want and instead just use the copy button. This way I don't have to rebuild different parts of my website. I can just change the text and the images. Saves a bunch of time. Once you click the copy button, just click the edit button. Perfect. Now I got this new page in the designer, and I want to give this page a unique name. So I'm going to go under Page Settings, and here, let's give this a name. We can call this the Contact Us page. And this is the address that's going to appear in the browser. We'll just call this Contact, so it's shorter. So it would be contact.html when the website is published. Here we can set the page title, description, and keywords. Now page title, description, and keywords are important for SEO. Now for advanced use cases, you can also add custom CSS, custom code such as JavaScript, Google Analytics, and more, and even enable different tracking pixels like with Facebook. Now we have built-in integrations with Facebook Conversion API to make sure that you can always track and attribute your conversions to your ads. That helps you save money with ad optimization. Now let's close this. Come in here and start exploring the different menu options that we have. Under Layers, this is where you can view all the different parts of your website. Now this makes rearranging sections of your website very easy. Simply drag the section that you want to move and you can rearrange it. You can also expand a section to see what items are inside of it. It's the same thing if you click on something here, you're going to see everything that's above it. So here I have an icon inside of a column, inside of a grid, inside of a section. It's a great way to see everything that's on your website. We also have the ability to set global styles. Here you can change the color palette, and you can also change the fonts. This saves you a lot of work from having to go into each individual font and set it. Here I might decide that I want to use this font instead. All my fonts are immediately adjusted on the page. Now I can do this for specific fonts, like certain only paragraphs or headings, and this will apply if the font has this setting up here on the right. So under typography, you can set the font as a normal, paragraph tag, H1, H2, etc. Now the H tags stand for headings, H1 being the largest heading, H6 being the smallest. You can also change and use some of our built-in font pairings. And to use the built-in global color palettes, you're going to want to select a palette, and then the palette will be available to you on the color pickers. This allows you to keep the color scheme consistent throughout your website or landing page. Just click on a color, and it'll give you the different shade options. You can select a shade, and now that color is used. Also, we have built-in membership sites. We have another video to go over how to create a membership site, but it's super easy and it's under Applications. Come in here and start building your membership site, website, landing pages, funnels, and more in our new designer. Thank you for joining me today. This wraps up the demo of our new website builder.